Hello everyone, I'm 18 Storm Track meteorologist Austin Haskins. Remember that stretch of fall-like weather we had, say, about 7 to 10 days or so ago? Well, that's long gone as summer has come back in full force for the most part across our area. Now, thanks to those lower clouds and some areas of fog lingering around during the first half of the day a little bit longer than expected, highs over the weekend were a little bit lower than what we forecasted at the end of last week. But even so, the lower part of the 80s in Eau Claire, that is almost 10 degrees above average for this time of the year. Of course, you can compare that to Sunday, September 7th, when our high was just 62. That was 16 degrees below average. So summer has come back into western Wisconsin, and it will stay that way here for the next couple of days. We're tracking very warm weather through at least Wednesday, along with rather humid conditions basically all week long. And then there are some rain and thunderstorm chances along the way as well. So the big picture to get our Monday started, area low pressure off to our west actually brought some severe weather across the Dakotas yesterday, in particular North Dakota. Several tornadoes reported in that part of the area, but high pressure over to our east is going to give us a south to southeast wind again today. Now, this warm front that's in between Sioux Falls and Mankato, Minnesota this morning and around Des Moines, it will bring a few extra clouds to the area. There are a few showers trying to develop out along and just ahead of that front, and that may sneak into western Wisconsin today. But the rain coverage overall looks to be about 20% or less, just of the pop-up variety, even though Future Track isn't showing much here. We'll have some isolated pop-up showers and even a few storms this afternoon and into tonight. The better chances, though, for that look to be during the evening hours, but I can't totally rule one out overnight into early Tuesday morning. Now, Tuesday itself, with winds turning more straight out of the south, I do think that we are going to stay completely dry tomorrow for the most part, outside of a 10% chance of a stray pop-up here and there. Into Wednesday, as the front gets a little bit closer to the area and another area low pressure develops to our southwest, while most of the day should remain dry, in the mid to late afternoon into Wednesday night, we will at least see a slight uptick in the number of those showers and the storms, but once again, remaining isolated to widely scattered in nature overall. And that's about our rain coverage here through the rest of the week. Now, it comes up a little bit more Friday into Saturday to about 40%, but still, the rain chances aren't the greatest. And again, there will be breaks in the rain, and there will be spots that don't see anything at all. The good news is, though, is with all of this being said, we're not expecting a severe weather threat. The Storm Prediction Center has basically a 0 out of 5, essentially, or what we call non-severe thunderstorms in the forecast. They're possible, at least for thunderstorms, but we're not expecting any severe storms here, at least for the next few days. Dew points, as I mentioned earlier, are going to remain on the humid side, mid to upper 60s, though it does come down a little bit as we get towards the weekend. But the reason that we're kind of staying a little bit drier to start the week with those very small pop-up chances is because we still have this ridge in the jet stream that is essentially right over the area. So this looks like a horseshoe shape, essentially. So the low pressures that are out in the Dakotas and Montana, it's going to sit there and actually ride straight to the north. So that's why if you were watching maybe the radar yesterday and you saw those storms in the Dakotas, instead of moving in a northeast direction, it was basically moving due north. And that's the way the jet stream is positioned at this point. But watch what happens as we go later in the week. That area low pressure to the southwest here, you notice this dip right here, that's going to try to cool us down and bring in some of those rain chances as we get into the end of the week and into the weekend. But in a pattern where you have that ridge around, sometimes it can stick around a little bit longer than what the models hint at. So that's why, as of right now, I'm not going rain chances higher than about 30 to 40%, and temperatures for the most part have actually trended up a little bit since I last looked at the data on Friday. So we'll have to kind of see how that plays out. So check back with us later in the week for updates there. But we're going to be solidly in the 80s across the region today, which is going to be about 10 to 12 degrees above average for this time of the year. The average high today in Eau Claire is 73. For tonight, we're back into the 60s once again, upper 50s to near 60 farther to the east. Highs tomorrow will go mid to even a few upper 80s, especially south and west. The heat index could reach 90 in a few spots. And then on Wednesday, we're back into the low to mid 80s with, again, a slight uptick in the number of those pop-up showers and storms, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. We're at 80 degrees Thursday, 75 Friday with highs around 74 Saturday and Sunday. But again, as I mentioned a moment ago, this will depend on how strong that ridge is and if those areas of low pressure can break that ridge range down. So we may see our high temperatures go up a little bit and rain chances come down, or we may see the opposite happen. The rain chances come up and the temperatures go down. So check back with us for updates on the weekend forecast as the week goes on.